I strongly believe that we all want to be led. Me, you, everybody wants to be led in the right direction by a great leader. And because life's pretty crazy and comes pretty fast, and if somebody can help you navigate it, all the better. And there's some amazing leaders in the world, and then there's some not so great leaders in the world and corporate America and in business and whatnot. And so I've just really realized that in a vague setting, people flounder, and without granular details, people in just crystal clarity, people will not perform at their best because they're not quite sure what to do. You may have that unicorn that needs very little direction and just always gets it done, and those are amazing employees. And when you get those people, hang on to them. But the average person, the vast majority of people really want to know, okay, where are we at? Where are we going? How long it will take to get there? What is the result of getting there? What is my specific role and responsibilities in getting us there? And then what does that achieve? And I've worked for some people that have been great at that, and I've worked for some people that haven't been so great at that. And I think we all have a chance to learn, no matter who we're working for. What is great, what is great leadership, and then let's recognize what isn't, and let's not repeat those same mistakes. Too often you'll watch people, follow somebody that's managed them before that wasn't very effective or very good and use the same tactics. And I think I've honed my leadership ability from watching people that were really good at it and say, "Ooh, I'm going to steal that. That's really, really
Mm,
good." And other managers or direct supervisors that I worked for throughout my entire career, I thought, "Ooh, that's not how you treat people. That wasn't a really effective meeting. How could that have been better?" And you just enough reps, you start to really form and shape your own leadership style. And a thing, an example that I kind of use with people when I'm training leaders to be leaders, because a great leader, by the way, the job of a leader is to create more leaders. A job of a manager is to make sure a project gets done, but a job of a leader is to create more leaders.
mm.
And and that's the way I look at it. And I don't care how old somebody is, because I've hired some pretty young people, and had them right out of school, and they're just crushing it now, crushing it. And that's a testament to them, not as much me. But what I do think I may have a skill in, or at least I'll take the risk, is I will give people the responsibility, but I'm very specific with it. And the example that I'll say is, if there's if there's an accident or somebody gets hurt, we've all been trained, if you've ever taken a CPR class, to say, find somebody in the crowd and say, you call 911. Look them right in the eye. Because if you just say, somebody call 911, nobody will call 911 because they're assuming everybody else is doing it. Well, the same thing
Right.
in your business. They're going to assume that, okay, we're trying to get from here to here, but somebody else will take care of that. And until you say, no, John Doe, this is your specific role, and I need this done, this particular action and task done by this date, by this time on that date. I always say 5 p.m., close of business, um, or if I need it sooner, whatever it is. But I'm very granular around that so that I set them up to win. And I think too oftentimes managers, not leaders, will set people up to fail, not willingly or knowingly, but because they're too vague in the way they give direction, and too vague in how they set a vision, and then how they set how we're going to get to that vision. And that doesn't mean you can't change along the way. In fact, if it's business, you're probably going to change along the way, and adjust along the way. But people just need to know, what is the path, where are we going, how are we going to get there, what is my role, what do I have to accomplish today, like today, and then what do I have to accomplish this week, this month, to make sure that it's contributing toward that.